We are Group Cassiopeia, and today we are going to present our research chapter 1. Title that has been chosen is Online Learning During the COVID-19 Pandemic and Academic Stress in First Year Bachelor of Technical Vocational Teacher Education Drafting Technology Students. Let's proceed to the introduction. The COVID-19 pandemic sprang out in the spring of March 2020 and it adversely affected all aspects of life and poses a severe threat to human health and economic development, she said in others in 2021. Despite with this precaution and international health regulation laid by the World Health Organization, this global preparedness is still lacking a considerable gaps and challenges. It affects not just mortality and morbidity, but also economic growth and development. Individual behavioral changes includes fear-induced aversion to workplaces and other public meeting places, are causing societal upheaval and political friction, Sharon and others in 2020. In line with the recommendation posed by the health authorities, many universities around the globe are obligated to shift the mode of instruction through online based in order to mitigate the transmission of the said disease.
In the context of online education, there are many factors involved in which causes to be either successful or failure. In order to meet the expected outcomes, students must see the value that constitutes being in online-based learning. The ability to maintain the relationship towards academics, instructors, and family is an essential step to aid the traditional education. The cause of this outbreak has seemingly endless potential to produce stress towards isolation and fear of contagion throughout the public. However, its impact concerning the first-year students from Bachelor of Technical Vocational Teacher Education, major in Drafting Technology in MSU-IIT, is not quite well documented. Thus, this paper existed specifically to examine the status and severity of stress encountered by the students during the surge of COVID-19 pandemic.
So, here is our conceptual framework. This framework represents the process of the study and shall be used as a guide to draw significant conclusion and descriptive recommendation. As you can see, the independent variable contain the respondent's profile in terms of gender, specifically male and female.
This figure shows the planned outline of the study, which includes the relationship between the two variables. The framework also has dependent variable. The dependent variable aims to examine the relationship and academic life, isolation, and fear of contagion from the virus, which determines the overall severity of stress that they perceive.
Statement of the problem. This study is based on a descriptive method of research. Descriptive research design is one of the three basic types of research under quantitative. So we choose descriptive because we want to estimate the portion of population if they exhibit a certain type of behavior. And also we want to determine if it is really true that our given variables are being connected or not. The type of data collection we decided is a survey approach which is done through online with the use of Google Forms. The given survey limits only within the first-year students, specifically from Bachelor of Technical Vocational Teacher Education major in Drafting Technology from Mindanao State University Iligan Institute of Technology. So our survey limits only within the first year, specifically to those students who participated on a synchronous classes. This paper is solely concerned with the severity of stress that the students perceive based from the relationship and academic life, isolation, and fear of contagion during the COVID-19 outbreak. The study attempted to answer the following questions. First, what is the respondent's profile in terms of gender, specifically male and female? Number 2, what is the overall perceived stress in terms of relationship and academic life, isolation, and fear of contagion? Number 3, are female students are being more prone to perceived stress than male students? So our null hypothesis would be both genders are equally prone to perceived stress.
We are now going to discuss the significance of the study regarding the list of the beneficiaries and the contribution of the study to the said beneficiaries. To the students, this research will be able to identify the impact of online learning to the students and how they were able to handle academic stress amidst the pandemic outbreak.
To the teachers, this study will enable teachers to evaluate the shortcomings of students towards online learning and identify the necessary learning style and procedure, which will eradicate the problem being presented.
To the university, this study will help the institution to determine the problems that the student encountered and will provide prominent data to the institution, especially to the guidance office regarding stress, which will help them formulate new solutions and recognize the quality of stress caused by online learning as well as the emerging pandemic.
To the future researchers, the result of the study will give benefits to the future researchers, for this paper will serve as the reference and can be used as foundation for their study and recommendations for improvements.
So, good afternoon everyone. I am Jennifer Damdas and I'm showing to you our questionnaire. Okay. 0 for not all stressful, 1 for somewhat stressful, and 2 moderately stressful, and 3 very stressful. And lastly, 4 extremely stressful. Okay, number 1, how do you perceive the risk of contagion during this period of COVID-19 pandemic? Number 2, how do you perceive the condition of social isolation imposed during this period of COVID-19 pandemic? Number 3, how do you perceive the relationships with your relatives during this period of COVID-19 pandemic? Number 4, how do you perceive the relationships with your university, colleges during this period of COVID-19 pandemic?
Moreover, number 5, how do you perceive the relationship with your university professors during this period of COVID-19 pandemic? Number 6, how do you perceive your academic studying experience during this period of COVID-19 pandemic? Lastly, number 7, how do you perceive the changes in your sexual life due to the social isolation during this period of COVID-19 pandemic? We're going to obtain data through a rating scale. Responders are asked to choose from a range of options which are scaled between not at all stressful to extremely stressful.